Guy's work and my work overlapped, and a friend of ours, a joint friend of ours, put us together to work and do something larger. And so we started doing plays. The first play was called Ethiopian. It was a 3-act play. And the second piece was a hypnotism piece, and it was called Cigar. And a woman gave a monologue with an object or a painting, and she wore a red dress and red shoes. And then when she was finished with the monologue, she said that there would be a short film and a short piece, and then she would come out and do a third final piece to end the performance. And so the hypnotic induction with this one was that the clothes that she was wearing for the third and final performance, the audience would see them as the complementary colors. So she had red shoes and a red dress for the first performance, and she had an exact copy in green of a dress and shoes that she wore for the last performance. So people, it was all I wanted to do and all Guy wanted to do was bring up the question in people's mind of whether they actually saw. They were seeing green because fundamentally they should have been seeing red in both performances. Okay. If it worked. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I read about Cigar.
Okay.
And your page.
Okay. So, and then then we did Igloo, and then we did a final piece called Ramona. And Guy died in 1985, and the work became lost for a number of years, and no one cared. And then there was a resurgence in interest, and mainly due to the efforts of a woman named Marie de Bourgeois. And she organized a few exhibitions, and after that, a lot of people became really interested in it. I'm getting to your question.
Yes, I know. No, it's okay.
So after those exhibitions that Marie de Bourgeois organized, there were a number of performances that were resurrected. Tell Me is a piece that was done solely by Guy de Conte after a couple of years after we worked together. And I decided to restage Igloo. And so in 2009, I got this cast together and did a staging. I rented a theater in Los Angeles and Venice and did the first performance. These actresses, the director of the play is a friend, David Felder, is the son of a friend of Denise Domergue, who she went to school with in elementary school. And he helped the cast of Tell Me by directing them for a performance that they were going to do in the south of France. And so when I decided to redo Igloo, I didn't want to direct it because Guy had directed the first pieces. We both directed them. I mean, we were both there. And when I saw something I didn't like or I felt I wanted to interject, I would speak up. But Guy directed, and after his death, I didn't want to fight with Guy's image. And so I wanted to produce them and make them in the spirit that Guy and I had intended the pieces. But I didn't want to be Guy de Conte, which is important. He did his work, I did my work, we overlapped the pieces. Well, the people at the Humex collection had seen a number of pieces that had been presented by in France and other places, and had become interested in Guy's work. And they contacted me through a French gallery about coming here and and showing the set as part of this exhibition at the Humex, and also doing the play. And so it was a perfect thing, and it seems like a perfect match. One of the actresses, Allison Burns, went to acting school with David Felder on the East Coast in the United States. And Carmen Thomas is the wife of a friend that lived next door to me. And she had been a television actress. Yeah. And so, and then Helen Berland, the person that was originally in Igloo, had been in the play Tell Me, the solo piece that he had done. And Denise Domergue was also in that piece. And so I included Helen in the original, not the original, but the restaging of Igloo, because I felt I wanted to maintain the spirit of the original performance. She was not in the original performance, but she had a gift of being able to do the lines in the script and present the play as Guy and I would have wanted it. And so I included her. The musician was someone that I met through a girlfriend that I had. He's 100% musician, and I felt that he was qualified to do it if I could figure out what instrument I could get him to play. And originally in Igloo, the person that was the musician played the bagpipes and the castanets. And at the end of this play, there's a song that's played. And the original musician played castanets. And when I was going to restage this play, I tried to find that guy, and I couldn't find him. And so that's when I talked to Leo about being in the play. And originally I wanted him to play a concertina at the end. And I bought one for him, and it broke the first day. And so we switched out for an accordion. And he plays keyboards, but his real instrument is a viola da gamba. And so for a few of the stagings, he played the accordion, and a song that he had adapted. And it was good, but it wasn't his preference. And last year at the Getty, we did a performance of Igloo and Tell Me. And Leo asked me a week before the performance if he could switch out and use the viola da gamba instead of the accordion. And I said, well, and he said that he would sing. At many of the rehearsals, he would play and he would sing the song La Paloma. So when he asked me if he could play the viola da gamba, he said he would play La Paloma and sing it at the Getty in front of an audience of 500 people. And he had never sung in front of an audience before. And I said, you'll do that if I let you play the viola da gamba? And he said, yes. And he did, and it was absolutely fabulous. And I hope that he's going to be just as fabulous today.
Perfect. You have that on video?
I beg your pardon?
You have Leo playing La Paloma on video?
Leo is here, and he's going to play La Paloma
again.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like music a lot. I listen to all music. But I feel that the musical instruments are very interesting because, well, let me go back a second. I make 4 different types of musical sculptures: wind, string, percussion, and silent. In a couple of in this play, there's a musical instrument, and it's a silent harp. And the actress approaches it and says, it's a small musical instrument. If you try to play it with intensity, it smothers its sound. And you have to, it's delicate and it has a curious sound. And so it talked about the sound, but it was never played and it was put back on the rack. And so it's a silent instrument. If a musician came out at a wonderful concert and the curtains opened and there were all the instruments and there was a very strange looking object on the stage that looked like a musical instrument. And the audience would always be thinking, well, during the performance they're going to play the instrument. And then if it's never played and the guy walks off the stage at the end, in a way it's a silent instrument. So the same with these musical sculptures that I've made. I don't pretend to be a musician, but I do try to use the sounds that I make in a context that makes sense and conceptually. So it doesn't have to be a nice sound. It just has to be a sound, and it has to be used in a context so that it makes complete conceptual sense.
Okay.
And it has to be not 1 second too long.
Okay. That's perfect.